Right now, well, we on 117th Street, man.
Okay.
And if you say something to me, bet my honey's tripping.
Okay, these are the dark Crips before.
Nestled within the heart of Los Angeles County, Willowbrook presents itself as a unique enclave that balances the remnants of its rural past with the burgeoning challenges of urban life. This unincorporated area, rich in history and cultural diversity, has navigated through the ebbs and flows of suburban development, particularly after the post-Depression era and World War II. Despite the scars left by the 1965 Watts riots, Willowbrook's community infrastructure, including its enduring library, has withstood the test of time, maintaining the area's distinct character amidst the broader narrative of South Central Los Angeles. However, beneath the surface of this resilient community lies a bunch of Crip gang affiliations, each paving its own story of survival, identity, and territorial allegiance. From the 7th Street Watts Crips to the alliances of the 6 Hood Compton Crips, the presence of these groups not only underscores the challenges faced by Willowbrook, but also reflects the broader socio-economic and cultural dynamics at play in urban communities across Los Angeles.
Right now, well, we on 117th Street. Yeah, it's grimy over here, man. They call it Gutterville, man. We getting stuck up and all kinds of some of the crazy.
The 7th Street Watts is a group known for being active in a part of Los Angeles in the Willowbrook Watts area. They started around 117th Street, near Mona Boulevard and Willowbrook Avenue. A rapper named Glasses Malone, who works with Mac 10's music label, is connected to this group. The 7th Street Crips are cool with the Home Street Crips, and they often don't get along with the same sets. They call their friendship 187 Watts Crips, where 1 stands for 100, 8 for 118th Street, and 7 for 117th Street. Their area is right next to Compton, which sometimes causes serious fights with the Mona Park Compton Crips, a bigger group living just a few blocks south of them. The 7th Street Watts Crips has several alliances, including the Home Street Crips, Grape Street Crips, Front Street Crips, PJ Watts Crips, and the Carver Park Compton Crips. These alliances play a significant role in their interactions and conflicts with other groups.
No actions that'll kill you just for practice. And I don't even like, but my is different.
The Mona Park Compton Crips are a Crip set mainly made up of African American members located between Willowbrook and Compton in California. Their area stretches from 118th Street to 125th Street, from Mona Boulevard to Wilmington Avenue. This area includes both sides of the train tracks for the Compton Blue Line train on Willowbrook Avenue. The Mona Park Compton Crips got their name from Mona Park, a local spot on Mona Boulevard between 121st and 122nd Street. Their area is right on the edge of Watts, another part of Los Angeles. There's a famous rapper from the 1990s, Coolio, who some people thought was part of a different Crip set called the Pocket Hood Compton Crips. But actually, he was connected with the Mona Park Compton Crips. The Mona Park Compton Crips have formed alliances with several other Crip sets, including the Carver Park Compton Crips and the Pocket Hood Compton Crips. They are also connected with the 6 Hood Compton Crips, which actually started as a part of the Mona Park Compton Crips. These alliances play a significant role in their interactions and presence in the area.
Everybody give it up. Get your ugly face out of there. Come on.
If you looking for me, come get me. Carver Park Crip, yup, damn mine. You know we keep a bad in with it. Take it to the hood, tell it get flippin'. Me and Crip, what you niggas saying?
The Carver Park Compton Crips on the border between the two areas, Compton and Willowbrook in Los Angeles. They're known for being very active in their area. Their space stretches from 118th Street to 126th Street, between Wilmington Avenue and Central Avenue. They get their name from George Washington Carver Park, a place in their neighborhood located between 118th and 120th Street on Success Avenue. Dee's Liquor, also known as the Four Store, is a well-known corner shop on Wilmington Ave, tucked between 124th and 123rd Street. It's a common hangout spot for gang members in the area. Unfortunately, It's also a place where a lot of gang fights, shootings, and serious incidents happen. Not far from there, just 2 blocks south, is Martin Luther King Jr. Hospital, often called Killer King because it's known for treating a lot of gunshot injuries. The Carver Park Crips have joined forces with several other Crip sets, like the Mona Park Compton Crips, Grape Street Watts Crips, Kelly Park Compton Crips, Nutty Block Compton Crips, and the South Side Compton Crips. Interestingly, they've also teamed up with the Front Hood Compton Crips, who used to be their rivals because they share common enemies. The 6 Hood Compton Crips are a smaller African-American gang located in Willowbrook, east side of Los Angeles County. They began as part of the larger Mona Park Compton Crips. Their area extends from 126th Street to El Segundo Boulevard, between Wilmington Avenue and Willowbrook Avenue. They have alliances with Carver Park Compton Crips, Mona Park Compton Crips, and Grape Street Crips. The train tracks for the Compton Blue Line mark the edge of their area. These alliances play a significant role in their interactions and presence in the area. The exploration of Crip gang affiliations within Willowbrook offers a window into the intricate socio-economic fabric that defines this unique Los Angeles County enclave. The presence of these gangs, from the 7th Street Watts Crips to the 6 Hood Compton Crips, reveals a complex network of relationships, rivalries, and alliances that are deeply intertwined with the community's history and daily life. As Willowbrook continues to navigate the challenges of urbanization and social change, understanding the dynamics of these gang affiliations becomes crucial in comprehending the broader societal issues that influence the area. The story of Willowbrook and its Crip gangs is one of resilience and adaptation, reflecting the ongoing struggle for identity and belonging within the rapidly evolving urban landscape of Los Angeles.
Today we're going to discuss all Crip sets in Inglewood, California.
We go hard in the motherfucking paint. That Hoover life, you know? And it's raining, okay.
Inglewood, California, a city with a rich and complex history, has been home to several notable street gangs, each with its own unique origins and characteristics. Among these are the Imperial Village Crips, Osage Legend Crips, 102 Raymond Crips, and the Tonga Crip Gang. African American and Tongan has shaped the social and cultural landscape of Inglewood in various ways, from their beginnings in specific streets and neighborhoods to their distinctive styles and affiliations. These gangs have left an undeniable mark on the city of Inglewood. This overview dives into the history, alliances, and rivalries of these gangs, providing a glimpse into an often misunderstood aspect of Inglewood urban tapestry.
Where is that, cuz? On BC gang. Nowhere to see found, cuz. On B's. Ain't this on street? Burn, right? Where is that, cuz? Niggas ain't nowhere to be found, cuz. Is that some maggots? Hell no, that's some female.
That's an Imperial Village Crip, man. Don't play with the game. My head's always on the switch because I'm up on me dead.
The Imperial Village Crips, also called Inglewood Village Crips, are a group that started in Inglewood, California. They began around a place called Imperial Highway between Prairie Avenue and Yukon Avenue, near Doty Avenue. This group is one of the oldest of its kind in Inglewood. They usually hang out in apartment buildings between 105th Street and Imperial Highway. People heard about them a lot after they were linked to a rapper named Big Sight, who was part of a music group called Thug Life started by Tupac Shakur. There was a man named Michael Scruggs, who was one of the first people in the Imperial Village Crips. He stood up against the punishment of Stanley Tookie Williams. Scruggs joined famous people and community leaders to try and stop Stanley Tookie Williams from being punished by lethal injection.
Every now and then I wanna go back to my old ways. Triple through my blocks, my heart rude. I done lost a homie.
The Osage Legend Crips, are also known as Osage Legend Neighborhood Crips or Nine Deuce Neighborhood Crips, are a group of people who are mainly African American. They started in a place called Inglewood, California, around Osage Street and Arbor Vitae Street, between Prairie Avenue and La Brea Avenue. This group is special because Inglewood has mostly blood gangs, but the Osage Legend Crips are a Crip gang. Their main group is called the Tiny Loc Riders from 92nd Street. They wear yellow or gold clothes, but they also wear blue like other Crip groups. The Legends like to meet at a place called Hollywood Park Casino in Inglewood. The Osage Legend Crips are friends with the Imperial Village Crips, the 111 Neighborhood Crips, and the Watergate Crips.
What's that? What that Hoover like? You know? And nigga, it's raining. Okay, let's chunk them like 2 G's to do it. In the middle of the street, I'm gonna give a fuck. Oh, but no, he had to go pull his gun out. And when I seen him, he pulled his gun out and he shot 4 times. I got hit twice.
And that day, I knew I was from Athens Park. I knew I was blood. I knew the rest. I remember my first real gang fight. They said, we're gonna rent out the gym, we're gonna give a youth dance. And they invited all the guys from Helen Keller Park, which were Raymond Crips. Couldn't control none of it. They were running to the car, and we were chasing them, beating their ass all the way to their car. Popped his trunk. And next thing you know, they had guns, and they was on our ass. Man, you know, they shot us all the way back into the gym. Like 4 people got shot.
The 102 Raymond Avenue Crips, also known as RAC, are a group that has been around for a long time. They are made up of African American and Tongan people and are located in Inglewood, California. This group is a part of a bigger group called the Raymond Avenue Crips. They are mostly found around 102nd Street between Century Boulevard and Prairie Avenue. The Raymond Avenue Crips are good friends with 2 other groups, the 120 Raymond Avenue Crips from a place called Athens and the Tonga Crip Gang from Inglewood. The 102 Raymonds usually hang out in some 2-story apartments on 102nd Street, but now many of these apartments are empty or have been damaged by fire. The 102 Raymond Avenue Crips are believed to be the largest Crip gang in the city of Inglewood.
Come next, last time that I checked, I've been self-made from the dribble. I was been saying I'm a... Y'all already know. We go hard in the pipe, nigga. It's T-Gang, nigga. Inglewood, bang, nigga. Gang affiliated, notice how them rags swing.
Wait that, I don't pay that. Earth Station diamonds in your way cap. Real cap pillars.
The Tonga Crip Gang, also called T-Gang, is mostly made up of people from Tonga, but includes others too. They are a group in Inglewood, California. They are usually found around 102nd Street and 104th Street between Prairie Avenue and Doty Avenue. They share 102nd Street with a group that are friends with the Raymond Avenue Crips. The Tonga Crip Gang is special because they are the first and only group in Inglewood from the Pacific Islands or Polynesian. Inglewood has many other blood gangs, like the Center Park Bloods, the Queen Street Bloods, and the Weirdo Gangster Bloods. People in Tonga Crip Gang often wear baseball caps with a big T on them, like the ones for the Texas Rangers or Texas Longhorns, to show they are Tongan. They have 2 main sets, called the 102nd Bone Family and the 104th Nut Family. The Tonga Crips and the 102 Raymond Avenue Crips call the area in Inglewood, Inglewood, because there are a lot of problems there, like in the Watts area in South Los Angeles. The Tonga Crip Gang doesn't get along with Samoan gangs or gangs with Samoan members in Carson, like the Carson Westside Piru, the Scott Park Pirus, and the Scottsdale Pirus. Gangs of Inglewood, such as the Imperial Village Crips, the Osage Legend Crips, 102 Raymond Avenue Crips, and the Tonga Crip Gang, represent more than just stereotypes often associated with street gangs. They are deeply intertwined with history and evolution of Inglewood, reflecting the complex socio-economic dynamics and cultural diversity of the city. While these gangs have been involved in conflicts and challenges, they also embody a sense of identity and belonging for their members. Understanding these gangs offer insights into the broader narrative of Inglewood, a city that has witnessed significant transformation and resilience in the face of adversity. As Inglewood continues to grow and evolve, the stories of these gangs remain a crucial part of its
Crips, West Los Angeles, California. This is a brief history on the west side by yourself Hustler Crips, also known as the Selfish Gang. This long-standing primarily African-American street gang was founded in the mid-city neighborhood of Los Angeles, California. Today, we'll take a closer look at this gang and their territory.
Then at some point, you guys have a little conflict with another crew, the By Yourselves. They were hustlers at the time.
Right.
How did y'all cross paths with the By Yourselves?
Girls, like he said.
Girls.
One of the homies, Big S Love. You know, Big S Love was dating a chick that dealt with one of those, and then some kind of words was exchanged. Then they went to JB. And so when we, we went up there, because it was getting kind of funky.
Their territory stretches from Pico Boulevard in the north to approximately West 18th Street in the south, and from La Chinega Boulevard in the west to South Fairfax Avenue in the east. This gang falls under the Hustler Crips guard and are friendly towards other Hustler Cripsets, such as the East Side Hustler Crips, the 46 Top Dollar Hustler Crips, the Playboy Hustler Crips, and the Big Time Hustler Crips. However, being in an area dominated by Gangster Cripsets, the By Yourself Hustlers have aligned themselves under the Trey card and are friendly towards most Gangster Crips, such as the Marvin Gangster Crips, Playboy Gangster Crips, Mansfield Gangster Crips, and the 43 Gangster Crips. Although older members still claim hustlers, the younger generation will often refer to themselves as the By Yourself Gangster Crips due to their Gangster Crip affiliation. Members tend to wear green apparel, most notably bandanas, to symbolize their Hustler Crips identity, along with the traditional blue color associated with the Crips. This gang has not been as active as other gangs in recent years. The Bedrock Gangster Crips. The West Side Bedrock Gangster Crips, a small, predominantly African-American street gang founded in the Mid-City neighborhood in West Los Angeles, California. Today, we'll explore the history of this gang and their impact on the community. The Bedrock Gangster Crips were founded in the Bedford Avenue and Shenandoah Avenue area during the 1980s. Originally known as the Bedford Boys, this gang falls under the Gangster Crips or Trey card. Their hood is within the larger Playboy Gangster Crips hood, who did not appreciate another Crip gang trying to establish themselves in their neighborhood. Fist fights between the two gangs soon escalated to gunfights, in which the larger Playboy Gangster Crips prevailed, forcing the Bedrock Crips off their hood. This ultimately led to the gang becoming defunct since approximately 2009. The Bedrock Gangster Crips used to feud with the Rollin 40s Neighborhood Crips, Rollin 60s Neighborhood Crips, as well as the Venice Shoreline Crips. Hispanic rivals include the 18th Street Gang, West Side Locos 13, and the West Side Ceros 13. They were clicked up with the Lady First Crip Gang. Many members of this gang joined their former enemies, the Playboy Gangster Crips. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, and we'll see you in the next one.
With Crips. Whoa, 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 cause gang.
Orders got me one, bitch. I need me another. You knew she was a fag, but you knew she was a cover. You supposed to flash my tail and get them out that cover.
Yeah, killers with me. Yeah, we got hammers, homie. They telling them get a peso to 40.
The city of Florence, nestled within Los Angeles County, California, serves as a vibrant hub of diverse cultural and social dynamics. Amidst its bustling streets, the community grapples with economic challenges and the complexities of single-parent households, all while striving for educational advancement through the support of the Los Angeles Unified School District. Beyond the facade of urban struggle, Florence harbors a deeply entrenched history of gang culture, predominantly marked by the presence of various Crip factions. This narrative delves into the intricate tapestry of Crip gang affiliations within Florence, exploring their origins, territorial influences, and the interconnections that weave through the broader expanse of South Los Angeles gang culture. From the formidable East Coast Crip to the assertive Hadgan Watts Crips, each faction embodies a unique story of survival, allegiance, and the quest for identity in the sprawling urban landscape of Florence.
On the bricks with the Crips. Whoa, 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 cause gang. Whoa. Saint they says.
I'm to a bitch house, to the spot, doing what I'm doing, turning this twist, getting on this bus, doing this and doing that, out here solo bolo. No.
The 7-6 East Coast Crips are a well-known gang in South Los Angeles. They are part of a bigger Crip gang known as the East Coast Crips. Their area is in a place called Florence Firestone, pretty close to Watts, another area in Los Angeles. Their name comes from where they're based, around a street called 76 Place, between two other streets called Central Avenue and Compton Avenue. This gang has been around for a long time and is still very active in Los Angeles today. Members often wear clothes or accessories related to the Philadelphia 76ers basketball team. They are cool with other sets that are also part of the East Coast Crips, like the 8-9 East Coast Crips, 9-7 East Coast Crips, and a few others known as 6-pack East Coast Crips and 1st East Coast Crips. They also get along with all the Neighborhood Crips gangs. The Kitchen Crips is a group of African American individuals who formed a gang in South Los Angeles, California. They started back in the 1970s and have 3 smaller sets within them called the 116 Kitchen Crips, the 95 Kitchen Crips, and the 87 Kitchen Crips. To show they are part of the Kitchen Crips, members often wear baseball caps with a KC logo, which stands for Kansas City, but also represents their gang. Among these, the 87 Kitchen Crips are the biggest set. They are based around 87th Street and 87th Place, mainly on Hooper Avenue, which is considered the central area of their activities. The Kitchen Crips have several groups they consider their allies, including the Main Street Mafia Crips, 99 Mafia Crips, Hoover Criminals, Fushtown Mafia Crips, and the 95 Compton Avenue Crips. The 89 East Coast Neighborhood Crips are mainly a group of African American individuals who have formed a gang. This gang is part of a bigger group known as the East Coast Crips, and they are also connected to another group called the Neighborhood Crips. They consider all other East Coast Crips sets and any sets that are part of the Neighborhood Crips umbrella as their friends or allies.
Drinking on some rock, post on the block, 99% of shots. The police hot, they tryna hit my spot.
Flops, scats, marks.
The 99 Watts Mafia Crips, also known as the Niners, are a group of African American individuals who formed a gang in area of South Los Angeles, California. They started in the 1980s near 99th Street and Success Avenue, which is between Compton Avenue and Central Avenue. Members of the 99 Watts Mafia Crips are recognized for wearing yellow or gold colors, in addition to blue, which is a common color for Crip gangs. They are part of a larger Crip umbrella known as the Mafia Crips. This gang is friends with several other gangs like the Fushtown Mafia Crips, Bluegate Mafia Crips, and Main Street Mafia Crips. They also get along with the PJ Watts Crips and Nuthood Watts Crips.
Got me one, bitch. I need me another. You knew she was a fat, but you knew she was a cover. You supposed to flash my tail. Get him out that cover.
The Hadgan Watts Crips, also called Hadgan Watts, are a well-known gang made up of African American members in South Los Angeles, California. Their area stretches from 92nd Street to 98th Street, between Central Avenue and Parmelee Avenue. This gang has been around for more than 30 years and is known for being one of the more aggressive gangs in the area. The Hadgan Watts has a few different sets within it, but the 2 main ones are on 92nd Street and 96th Street. Members often wear black and sometimes call themselves the Black Rag Gang or Black Rag Crips because of the black bandanas they wear. They are friends with the East Coast Crips, the Front Street Crips, and the Playboy Gangster Crips. Back in the 1980s, they were also very close with the 99 Mafia Crips and the Compton Avenue Crips. In fact, the Compton Avenue Crips helped start the Hadgan Watts Crips. The exploration of Crip gangs in Florence unveils a complex narrative that transcends mere territorial disputes or criminal affiliations. It reflects the broader socio-economic challenges and cultural dynamics that shape the lives of individuals within these communities. From the 7-6 East Coast Crips symbolic affiliations to the Hadgan Watts Crips historical ties and the Kitchen Crips cultural expressions, each gang contributes to the multifaceted identity of Florence and South Los Angeles. Understanding the intricacies of these gangs provides a lens through which we can comprehend the broader societal issues at play, including the impact of economic disparity, the importance of community support systems, and the enduring quest for identity amidst adversity. As Florence continues to evolve, the legacy of these Crip gangs remains a poignant reminder of the resilience and complexity of urban communities in the face of ongoing.
Y'all get structured because I be able to like that. And even if y'all ain't structured, I'm still willing to with y'all. But if y'all more structured, it's easier for me to and give y'all more opportunities to get money, because there's money out here, cuz, on the other side and the right side. And it is what it is, cuz.
This is a strap. It's a gun. AK-47, KT, 9mm, 9mm handgun, 4.5.
Blink, we can't deal with you.
Hey, what I saying now?
Long Beach, California, a city with a history that stretches back to the Tongva people and has evolved through the Spanish and Mexican periods to become a modern economic hub, is not only known for its significant contributions to the port and oil industries, but also for its cultural richness, including landmarks like the RMS Queen Mary and the Aquarium of the Pacific. Amidst this backdrop of historical and cultural wealth, Long Beach has also witnessed the emergence and growth of various gang factions, notably among them, the Crips. Originating in Los Angeles in the late 1960s, the Crips have since branched out into numerous sets, each with its unique identity, yet united under the overarching Crip affiliation. In Long Beach, these sets have etched their territories and narratives into the city's social fabric, with no presence of blood sets in the city, further emphasizing the dominance of Crip sets in the area. The Rolling 80s West Coast Crips are mainly an African-American gang on the west side of Long Beach, California. They started around the Springdale West apartments at Spring Street and Santa Fe in Long Beach. They are part of the larger Rollino's Crips group and are connected to the Neighborhood Crips. The West Coast Crips like to wear clothes from the Dallas Cowboys football team, along with the usual blue color that Crips wear. They were known for being very violent in the 1980s and 1990s. SD the MC is a rapper from West Long Beach, and he's connected to the Rolling 80s Crips gang. He's well known for being part of the LBC movement in 2015, which Snoop Dogg started. This music project brought together rappers from different areas in Long Beach that usually don't get along, like the Rolling 20s Crips, Insane Crips, and Bricc Boy Crips. The Rolling 80s group is friends with several other groups like the Rolling 20s Crips, Rolling 30s Harlem Crips, Rolling 60s Crips, Rolling 90s Crips, and all the Neighborhood Crips gangs. The Mafia Crips, also called the Double M Gang, are a group mostly made up of African-American members and are found in North Long Beach, California. Their area is around a street called Ante Street, sitting between two avenues named Obispo and Downey. They are known as a North Side gang because their area is in the northern part of Long Beach. Members of the Mafia Crips like to wear hats from the Milwaukee Brewers baseball team because the hats have a big M on them, which stands for the first letter of their gang's name. The Mafia Crips say they are from the north side because they are located in the northern part of Long Beach. They are part of a bigger Crip umbrella called the Mafia Crips, which also includes other groups like the Boulevard Mafia Crips, the Blue Gate Mafia Crips, and the Beachtown Mafia Crips. Even though this group is smaller than some other gangs in Long Beach, they are known for being very active in the northern area of the city. The Mafia Crips are friends with all the groups that are part of the Mafia Crips, like the Boulevard Crips, Main Street Mafia Crips, and the 99 Watts Mafia Crips. They also have a special friendship with the original Hood Crips and the Boulevard Mafia Crips, and together they call themselves MOB, which stands for Mafia Original Boulevard.
You already know, far game. Where we at, bro?
Where we at, bro?
Where we at?
Hey, where we at, bro?
Where we at? Y'all know we at.
Where we at?
Look around.
We at Ramona Park.
The North Side Bricc Boy Crips are a small Crip gang mainly made up of African-American members in North Long Beach, California. Their main area is around the Carmelitos housing projects on Viawanda Avenue. The Bricc Boy Crips have two main sets, called the Carmelitos and 52nd Street, which is also known as the 5 Deuce Bricc Boy Crips or the 50s. They hang out in a part of Long Beach often called Uptown Long Beach. This area includes places like Bixby Knolls and California Heights. Members of this gang like to wear clothes with the Boston Red Sox logos to show they are part of the gang. Jubal is a rapper from North Long Beach. He's part of the Bricc Boy Crips gang. He also worked with Snoop Dogg on a music project called the LBC Movement. This project brings together rappers from different areas of Long Beach, including the Rolling 20s Crips, Rollin' 80s, and the Insane Crips, to make music together. The Bricc Boy Crips are allies of the Mafia Crips and the Carver Park Compton Crips. The North Side Original Hood Crips are a well-known Crip gang in North Long Beach, California. They started in the early to mid-1980s around the area of 60th Way and White Avenue, near Artesia Boulevard and 69th Street. The original Hood Crips share their area with the Boulevard Mafia Crips. This gang's members like to wear blue and gold colors. They have groups based on streets like 69th, 68th, and 67th, all around Butler Avenue. The Hood Gang is friends with the Mac Mafia Crips, Boulevard Mafia Crips, and the Bricc Boy Crips. Together, they are known as Mob.
Suck, huh?
It's all holding out, huh?
Look, little homies up to no good.
I know you ain't talking, bro.
LONGBACH. I'm from the city that all slobs hate. I'm from Strong Beach, where we kick it deep on the west side on 32nd Street.
I'm rocking back to back, leaving a narrow track for perpetrating MCs to try to pick up the slack. You got a ways to go before you blend with the flow like in a tick. You got jack, now I'm rocking it back to back.
The Sons of Samoa Crips is a group mainly made up of Polynesian and Samoan members that started in East Long Beach, California in the early to mid-1980s. They are one of the first Polynesian gangs to be in Long Beach. The Sons of Samoa Crips were shaped by other street gangs and chose to join the Crips. They have smaller sets within them called East Side Dogs 10th Street, Suicidal Gang 15th Street, and West Side Seawees Tray Life 32nd Street. Their area goes from Wardlow Street to Willow Street, and from Webster Avenue to the 710 freeway. They are friends with the Inglewood Tonga Crips gang. They also get along with groups called the United Samoan Organization and the Asian Boys Crips. The East Side Long Beach Filthy Crips is a predominantly African-American gang located on the east side of Long Beach, particularly around 19th Street and Locust. The North Side Boulevard Crips, also just called Boulevard Crips, are a Crip gang from North Long Beach, California. They started in the early 1980s. They're also known as a dead-end gang because their main area is on streets that end in dead ends near Long Beach Boulevard. The Boulevard Mafia Crips, first called the Boulevard Boy Crips or Boulevard Boys, are one of the oldest and biggest Crip gangs in North Long Beach. They have different sections known as cliques, like 68th Street, 68th Way, 69th Street, and 69th Way. All these sets together are often called the 60s. In the 1990s, the group changed their name by removing Boy and adding Mafia to become part of the Mafia Crips. Members of the Boulevard Mafia Crips like to wear light blue bandanas and baseball caps from the Boston Red Sox with a B on them, which stands for Boulevard. The Boulevard Mafia Crips are friends with the Mac Mafia Crips and the original Hood Crips. They have a special friendship called MOB, which stands for Mafia Original Boulevard, and this includes the Bricc Boy Crips too.
God, I'm recording you. Open that up. Good. Hey. That's crazy. It's red inside, good. Hey! Let me see what it says. Harry's 30th birthday, little late. Yo! Don't drink that. Don't drink that.
The first Asian boys gang started in Long Beach, California in the late 1980s. It was made up of people who came from countries in Southeast Asia. The people who started the Asian boys in Long Beach were Cambodian refugees who had trouble with another group called the East Side Longos during the 1980s. There's some debate about how the gang really started because it was more like a bunch of smaller groups coming together rather than just one new group starting. The Cambodian part of the Asian boys is especially well known and has its own unique place within the larger Crips gang group, partly because the members come from a different background. The Naughty Nasty Gangster Crips are mostly an African-American gang in North Long Beach, California, around Ramona Park. They started in the early 1990s along Obispo Avenue, between Artesia Boulevard and Poppy Street. The Naughty Nasty Crips mainly wear brown and are part of the Trey Gangster Crips group. Rappers Vince Staples and Joey Fats, who grew up in this gang's area, are part of a music group called the Cutthroat Boys. The third member of their group, Aston Matthews, is linked to the Pyrus gang. The Naughty Nasty Gangster Crips are allies of gangs under the Trey Gangster Crips.
C-Dog, cuz. Ain't about nothing but the homeboy C-Dog being sent off the right way, cuz, the appropriate way. Me as a dub, I watch the hood, I watch get sent off the right way and how we don't really show no love until dead. That's alive need to get that real love. That's a real G homie girl that need to get love. So what I figured was today we could come together and show some love and be out here organized and get cuz some love and send him off the right way.
Yeah, rolling. Little homie in the cut.
Alright, do it, Bricc.
Police, down. 985 Crip, we outside, nigga.
You can put on some jeans.
That shit crazy, ain't it, man? Alright, they got 2.0 junk off that.
They got Tiny over here acting like ass though, you know what I'm saying?
The Rolling 20s Crips are a big Crip gang in East Side Long Beach, California, mostly found south of 21st Street, east of Long Beach Boulevard, and west of Orange Avenue. They like to wear black and gold, the main colors of the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New Orleans Saints football teams. Members of the Rolling 20s Crips often get tattoos of the Steelers logo, which makes it easy for other gangs to recognize them. They have different groups based on streets like 21st, 20th, 19th, 17th, 15th, 11th, and 10th. The Rolling 20s Crips became very famous worldwide, especially in Long Beach, because they were mentioned in the news a lot and being linked to the famous rapper Snoop Dogg. Other well-known musicians connected to this gang include Nate Dogg, Daz from the Dog Pound, Goldie Loke from the East Siders, and C-Note and Domino, also known as Genuine Draft, from the group Bloods and Crips. The Rolling 20s Crips are friends with another group called the Rolling 80s West Coast Crips, who are in the west side of Long Beach. At first, the 20s Crips and another set, called the Insane Crips, were close and acted as one big team. But in the 1980s, they stopped being allies because they disagreed over who should control the area south and north of 21st Street. The Rolling 20s wanted the south side, and the Insanes wanted the north.
The Insane Crips, that's the most notorious gang to come off the east side of Long Beach.
Hey, look, fresh out, not even been out, but he been out. Do you hear me?
Only been out for 60 days.
This is not 60 days worth of work. This is 5. This is 2 days worth of work. You hear me? And let them know something.
The Insane Crips gang is the biggest African-American gang on the east side of Long Beach, California. They started around 21st Street and Lewis Avenue in central Long Beach and spread to nearby areas. This gang is part of a group called Trays, and they like to wear clothes with the Oakland Raiders black and gray colors. The Insane Crips have 3 main groups. The first one, called the Big Insane Crips, has the original members and is based on 21st Street. The second group, the Young Foundation Crew, came next and has members from the second wave. The third group, known as the Baby Insanes or Baby Insane Crips, started in the early 1990s on 23rd Street in Long Beach. The Baby Insane group within the Insane Crips likes wearing Cleveland Indians gear, especially in red. A famous rapper, Trey D from the East Siders, which includes Snoop Dogg and Goldie Loke. Newer rappers from this gang include Savvy Third and DW Flames. The Insane Crips also created a subgroup called 21st Young Guns Crips in Lancaster, California. The Insane Crips and the Rolling 20s Crips used to be close friends in Long Beach, connected by their neighborhood and families. But in the 1980s, disagreements and arguments broke their friendship, leading to fights between both groups. The city of Long Beach, with its rich history, culture, and economic prowess, also hosts a complex network of Crip sets, each contributing to the intricate mosaic of gang dynamics within the city. From the Mad Mafia Crips in North Long Beach to the iconic Rolling 20s Crips with connections to notable figures like Snoop Dogg and the Insane Crips gang known for their extensive territory and influence. These groups have carved their identities within the urban landscape. While the city celebrates its vibrant heritage and tourist attractions, the presence of these gangs serves as a reminder of the ongoing challenges and narratives that are woven into the very fabric of Long Beach's community. As we reflect on the city's journey from its indigenous roots to its current status, it's essential to acknowledge the multifaceted nature of Long Beach. where cultural richness and gang affiliations coexist, shaping the city's identity in the 21st century.
Hey, C-Mac. Hey, C-Mac. We outside. Talking about we don't be outside.
The legacy of the Hoover criminal gangs is a testament to the enduring and complex nature of gang culture in South Los Angeles. From their origins as the Hoover Groovers to their current status, the Hoovers have navigated a landscape marked by rivalry, alliance, and transformation. Their story is not just one of conflict and violence, but also of community identity and survival in the face of socio-economic challenges. As we reflect on the history of the Hoover criminal gangs, we are reminded of the broader narrative of urban life in Los Angeles, where the echoes of the past continue to shape the realities of the present and the possibilities of the future.
We consider ourselves Crips when all we do is kill. Crips. That's why we turned criminals. And started wearing orange.
The Hoover criminal gangs, known as HCG, are a collective of African American street gangs rooted in the west side of South Los Angeles, California. Named after Hoover Street, which runs between Vermont Avenue and Figueroa Avenue, the Hoovers encompass a variety of individual gangs unified under the Hoover criminal gang banner. The Hoover criminal gangs are recognized for their distinctive use of the Houston Astros theme gear, particularly drawn to the orange hue prominent in the Astros uniforms. This preference for orange has led the Hoover Criminals gang to adopt it as their signature color. Additionally, they are known to wear Houston Astros baseball caps, utilizing the prominent H emblem as a symbol for Hoover. Among the Hoover subsets, the 5 Deuce Hoover Gangster Crips are unique in that they continue to wear blue in conjunction with orange. The Hoover Criminals trace their roots back to the 1960s, initially known as the Hoover Groovers. This group predates the formation of the Crips and was deeply embedded in the local community. The transition from Hoover Groovers to becoming part of the broader Crips alliance was marked by a tragic event: the murder of a founding member's younger brother, for which the West Side Crips were initially blamed. To address the growing tensions, the Hoover Groovers and the West Side Crips convened at St. Andrews Recreation Center, located between Manchester Boulevard and 89th Street. This meeting led to a pivotal alliance between the two, redirecting their suspicions and accusations towards the Figueroa boys. This shift in blame culminated in a violent confrontation, where the leader of the Figueroa boys was beaten at a nightclub in Los Angeles, signifying a significant moment in the history of gang alliances and conflicts in the area. In the mid-1970s, aligning with the West Side Crips led to a significant shift for the Hoovers, who transitioned from being known as the Hoover Groovers to adopting the Crips identity, thus becoming the Hoover Crips. This change marked a deeper integration into the wider network of Crips-affiliated gangs. By 1979, the gang landscape was further complicated by a feud between the Rollin 60s Neighborhood Crips and the 8-Tray Gangster Crips, leading to a division where gangs had to choose sides. Those aligning with the Rolling 60s adopted the Neighborhood Crips or Deuces identity, while those with the 8 Trays became part of the Gangster Crips faction, also known as Trays. The Hoovers identified with the Gangster Crips, specifically branding themselves as Hoover Gangster Crips. The murder of Raymond Washington, a founding member of the Crips, in August 1979, in a drive-by shooting, added to the turmoil. The East Side Crips accused the Hoover Crips of being behind Washington's death, igniting a fierce and enduring conflict between the Hoover Crips and the East Side Crips, further entrenching the divisions within the Crips alliances and contributing to the complex web of gang rivalries in Los Angeles. In the 1980s, amid the crack epidemic that swept through south-central Los Angeles, the Hoover Gangster Crips emerged as one of the most prominent groups involved in the drug trade. Their association with figures like Ricky Freeway Ross, a known drug lord, underscored their influence in the narcotics market. By the mid-1980s, the group, now feared for their involvement in gun violence, became prime suspects in gang-related shootings, contributing to their notoriety in South Central LA. As the decade progressed, their rivalries with other Crip factions deepened, leading to increased violence and conflict. In a significant shift during the 1990s, the Hoovers distanced themselves from the Crips, adopting criminals in place of Crips in their name. Adopting the monikers ABK, Anybody Killer, or EBK, Everybody Killer. They signaled a willingness to engage in conflict with a broad spectrum of groups, including Bloods, Crips, and even Rolling O's, as indicated by graffiti tags like BK, Blood Killer, CK, Crip Killer, and OK within their territories. This approach mirrored the stance of many Mexican-American street gangs in South Los Angeles, which typically maintain allegiance only to the Mexican Mafia. By declaring an all-out war against not just rival gangs, but potentially anyone, the Hoover Criminals effectively ended many of their previous alliances, isolating themselves further within the gang landscape of Los Angeles. The Hoover Criminals gang, with its roots deeply entrenched in South Los Angeles, has been at the center of numerous conflicts with various Crip factions, including the Raymond Avenue Crips, East Coast Crips, Neighborhood Crips, Rolling Hundreds, and more recently, the Main Street Mafia Crips. A notable feud with the Denver Lane Bloods has even led to the encroachment of Denver Lane Bloods into territories traditionally held by the 112 Hoover Criminals gang. The 1990s saw an escalation in violence, marked by the Anybody Killer ethos, which led to numerous gang-related shootings and contributed to making certain areas in Los Angeles highly dangerous for residents. The Hoover Criminals have also engaged in a lethal conflict with South Los 13, a Sereno gang, further intensifying the gang violence in the region.
Gang competition for drug millions has led two LA gangs, the Crips and the Bloods, to expand to the northwest, battling for turf in Seattle and Portland. Seattle police say that 7 people have been killed there this year in drug gang-related shootings. 387 were killed in such crimes in LA.
In the 1980s, efforts to expand drug operations saw the Hoover Criminals extending their reach beyond Los Angeles to cities like Seattle, Houston, Portland, and Oklahoma City. Interestingly, many Hoover sets outside Los Angeles continue to identify with the Crips rather than the criminals. For instance, the 7-4 Hoover Crips in Seattle, established by George Edward Hendricks, Jr., or OG, became one of the largest Hoover sets outside Los Angeles until his death in 2006. Portland, Oregon, hosts a notably active branch of the Hoover Criminals, including the 112, 107, and 7-4 Hoover sets, mirroring the rivalry dynamic seen in Los Angeles, particularly against the Rollin 60s Neighborhood Crips. The Hoover Criminals gang has been represented in various forms of media, shedding light on their influence and the broader context of gang culture in South Los Angeles. The 1992 film South Central, produced by Warner Bros. And based on the novel South Central LA, Crips by Donald Bakir, draws inspiration from the real-life dynamics of the Hoover Criminals gang. In the film, Glenn Plummer portrays Odd Bobby Johnson, a character associated with the fictional Hoover Street Deuces, a gang that mirrors the actual Hoover Criminals gang. In the music industry, the influence of the Hoover Criminals extends to artists such as Schoolboy Q, a rapper signed to Top Dog Entertainment and affiliated with the 5 Deuce Hoover's Criminals gang. Schoolboy Q is part of the rap group Black Heppy, alongside J-Rock, associated with the Bounty Hunter Bloods, and Kendrick Lamar from Compton, California, in the heart of South Los Angeles, on the streets bordered by 43rd and Hoover. A significant chapter in the city's history unfolded. The 4 Trey Hoover Criminals gang, originating in the vibrant yet tumultuous 1970s, marked the beginning of a new era in the streets of West Side LA. Born from the spirited Hoover Groovers, The four Trey Hoovers were pivotal in shaping the landscape of gang affiliations in LA. Their alliance with a formidable group led by Tookie, known as the West Side Crips, catalyzed a transformation, rebranding the Hoovers into a Crips faction. This evolution saw the four Trey Hoover Crips emerging as a significant force, embodying the complexities of street alliances and rivalries. The 1990s were a turning point. The Hoover Crips found themselves amidst an escalating conflict with the Neighborhood Crips, a feud that would redefine their identity. Transitioning from Crips to criminals, they charted a new path, distinct from their beginnings. Yet, this era brought challenges, leading to a decline in their presence by the mid-90s. Now, the once formidable four Trey Hoovers have receded into the backdrop of South LA's history, their activities fading into silence. But the echoes of their legacy offer a window into the complex tapestry of the city's gang history. The four Trey Hoover Criminals gang story is also one of intricate rivalries and fleeting alliances. Once embroiled in bitter disputes with groups like the Rolling 40s Crips, Rolling 30s Harlem Crips, and the First Street East Coast Crips, their narrative is a testament to the ever-changing dynamics of gang affiliations in Los Angeles.
Nigga, I walk through the turf, go on Hoover. Watch this car, cuz. Crip. Oh yeah, we in the turf. Walking through the hood. Oh shit.
Hoover. Look, the real looks outside on hers. Hoover. Hey.
Welcome to our exploration of the 5 Deuce Hoover Gangster Crips, a significant presence on the streets of South Los Angeles, California, originating in the 1970s around 52nd and Hoover Street. This group has left an indelible mark on the community and the broader landscape of gang affiliations in LA. The 5 Deuce Hoovers carved their niche in a vibrant yet challenging era, distinguishing themselves with blue and orange colors, symbols of their Crips affiliation and Hoover heritage. Unique among Hoover subsets, they retained the Crips identity, standing out in a complex tapestry of street affiliations. The 1980s saw the 5 Deuce Hoovers and the 7-4 Hoovers at the center of South Central's drug trade, operating numerous drug houses and allegedly amassing significant wealth. This period underscored the group's influence and the challenges faced by the community during a tumultuous time in LA's history. The influence of the 5 Deuce Hoovers extended far beyond Los Angeles, with subsets emerging in cities like Houston, Washington, New York, and New Jersey. In the intricate web of gang dynamics, the 5 Deuce Hoovers have forged alliances with groups like the Trouble Gangster Crips and the Broadway Gangster Crips, while also facing opposition from rivals including the 5'9" East Coast Crips, Rolling 50s Neighborhood Crips, and others. In this episode, we're taking a closer look at the 5'9" Hoover Criminals gang, a pivotal group in the tapestry of South Los Angeles' street dynamics. Originating in the 1970s, the 5'9" Hoover Criminals have been a defining presence in the area, evolving from their roots as a subset of the expansive Hoover Criminals gang. The 5'9" Hoovers have crafted a distinctive identity, often symbolized by their innovative use of 5'9" to replace the O in Hoover, a detail frequently mirrored in street art and tags across their territory. This signature style marks their influence and claims their space between the 5 Deuce Hoover Crips and the 7-4 Hoover Criminals gang. Strategically located between these significant factions, the 5'9" Hoovers navigate a complex web of alliances and rivalries. Their solidarity with the Hoover Criminals gang network forms the backbone of their alliances. However, the landscape of their rivalries is vast, including intense feuds with groups like the 6 Deuce East Coast Crips, 6 Deuce Harvard Park Brims, and the Rolling 40s Neighborhood Crips, painting a vivid picture of the ongoing tensions that define much of South LA's gang. Today, we're focusing on the 7-4 Hoover Criminals gang, also known as the 7-4 Hoover Criminals gang, a significant presence in South Central Los Angeles for over 3 decades. Originally known as the 7-4 Hoover Crips up until the early 1990s, the 7-4 Hoovers underwent a transformation, aligning more closely with the Hoover Criminals gang. This change marked a new chapter for the group, emphasizing their distinct identity within the larger Hoover network. Situated around 74th and Hoover Street, the gang, affectionately known as the Bay Bays, has become a formidable force in the area. Their long-standing presence and activities have shaped much of the neighborhood's dynamics, making them the 3rd largest subset within the Hoover Criminals gang. During the 1980s, the 7-4 Hoovers, alongside the 5 Deuce Hoover Gangster Crips, were central figures in South Central's drug trade, reportedly generating substantial revenue. This period highlighted the gang's influence, but also brought increased scrutiny from law enforcement. The complex tapestry of gang alliances and rivalries paints a vivid picture of life in South Central. The 7-4 Hoovers maintain alliances with groups like the Shotgun Crips and the Insane Crips, while navigating hostilities with several other gangs, including the Rolling 60s Neighborhood Crips and the 7-6 East Coast Crips, among others.
Stay low, baby. We in this mother. We in this mother. Yeah, we in this mother.
Don't land on that. Hold on. Oh. It's so ho. Look at all yeah, that's so ho. Yeah, gang in the building.
Big that ass anything.
That's so ho. See how gang come through the building on Home Street.
Go with blue. Go with blue.
Oh, that's so ho. Go to Loke in the cut. The Lokes right here. Yeah, homies, a couple of Lokes.
Today, we dive into the story of the 8 Hoover Criminals gang, a prominent group in the tapestry of South Los Angeles' complex gang dynamics. This group, with over 3 decades of history, stands as the largest subset within the Hoover Criminals gang umbrella. Emerging from the streets around 83rd and Hoover, the 8 Hoovers, nicknamed the Rascals, have carved out a significant presence in their neighborhood. Their journey from being known as the 8 Hoover Crips to the current Hoover Criminals gang reflects a broader narrative of change and adaptation within gang cultures. The 8 Hoovers have managed to assert their dominance in an area fraught with rivalries and conflicts, maintaining a strong hold despite the adversities posed by their numerous rivals. Their story is a stark reminder of the challenges faced by communities caught in the crossfire of gang violence. In the intricate web of gang affiliations, the 8 Hoover Criminals maintain alliances with groups like the Shotgun Crips, uniting against common adversaries such as the Rolling 60s Neighborhood Crips. This landscape of alliances and rivalries underscores the complex social structures that govern life in South.
EST with no V-neck, normalized slide, here's smutty gang man. Hoover. On any amigos, just do suits to get loose, I make a whole pool juice.
Shots, I'm still not easing up, mad ass anything. Newbie, I'm a goof you. Know some lows bound to shoot. Orange Chuck, get the boots. Slime with you right or wrong, I call you my brother.
Look at these boys. Fast as ski ski.
I'm a bang my death. Been thugging for 16 years and ain't left yet. So you know you can't let me. I keep them coming my eyes on my body like Koski.
We explore the 9 Deuce Hoover Criminals gang, also known as the Doulos, a notable subset of the expansive Hoover Criminals gang network in Los Angeles. with origins tracing back to the 1970s. This group has established its presence in the area around 92nd and Hoover Street, marking a significant chapter in the story of South Los Angeles. Initially known as the 9 Deuce Hoover Crips, this group underwent a transformation alongside other Hoover sets, evolving into the Hoover Criminals gang. Despite being smaller in size, their impact and activity levels have been notable in the history of gang dynamics within South Central LA. The 9 Deuce Hoovers maintain strong ties with fellow Hoover subsets, particularly the 9-4 Hoover Criminals gang, with who they share a close alliance termed Do Lows Down. Their history is also marked by intense rivalries with other gangs, including the Rolling 90s West Coast Crips and various Gangster Crips sets, highlighting the intricate and often volatile landscape of gang affiliations in the area.
Danny, Hoover Street though. Boo. It's the set. Yeah, nigga. Yeah. Don't get the set. Yeah. Boo boo. Give me a picture, bro. Give me a picture too. I can't take no picture. We out of here.
Hey, fuck. Hey.
Today, we dive into the history of the 9-4 Hoover Criminals gang, also known as the Lowdowns. This group is a prominent subset of the larger Hoover Criminals gang, with roots deeply embedded in the streets of West Side South Los Angeles, around 94th Street. Emerging in the 1970s as the 9-4 Hoover Crips, this gang carved out a notorious reputation for violence in the 80s and early 90s. Their story is a stark reflection of the broader shifts in gang identity within LA, transitioning from Crips to criminals as part of a larger movement within the Hoover sets. The 94 Hoovers have built strong alliances within the Hoover family, particularly with the 9 Deuce Hoover criminal gang, united under the banner of Do Lows Down. Their history is also marked by intense rivalries, standing against groups like the 9-8 Main Street Mafia Crips and various Gangster Crips sets, along with East Coast Crips and Neighborhood Crips. These conflicts and alliances paint a complex picture of gang dynamics in South LA.
Here's a 107 Hoover Crip. 107 Hoover Crip. Not ever go against that. 107 Hoover Crip. We stand firm, we're a family. We watch each other's back. So 107 is about. Say low. Say low. Say low. Go low.
7-Eleven, yo.
Everybody out here that fell up under the guise of 107, you've been warned. This is Crip or die. You have been warned. Home boys, home girls.
Young life.
If you're not with it, you shouldn't even be here.
Get off my life, that bad. Fuck sissies, nigga. Sissies, whole killer. Dead homie, nigga. That. Get off my life, punk. Dead homies. Sissies.
Fuck y'all talking about what's a 107? Clock. I'm frontline orange in y'all section. 100 West Side Hoop.
Public quick, take a chance, I'ma make it. If you need some treatment, I'm your doctor, you my patient. If you acting up, turn around and get this spanking. We not even for it, but I'll fly you out to Vegas, put you in the room, and that can be.
The 107 Hoover Criminals gang, also known as 107 Groove Gang or Cellos, and formerly known as 107 Hoover Crips Gang, are a long-standing African-American criminal street gang located on the west side of South Central Los Angeles, California. The 107 Hoover Criminals are an active subset of the larger Hoover Criminals gang umbrella. The 107 Hoover Criminals gang originated in the 1970s, around 107th Street and Hoover Street, between Vermont Avenue and Figueroa Avenue. They often refer to themselves as 107 Groove Gang, to pay homage to the original Hoover Groovers. However, the Hoover Groovers eventually turned Crips, Hoover Gang Crips, and later turned criminals. Hoover Criminals Gang. The 107 Hoover Criminals Gang are allies of all Hoover criminal gangs, especially the 112 Hoover Criminals Gang. They are rivals of the Underground Crips and the Budlong Gangster Crips, as well as the 104 Hustler Crips. Their main blood rival is the larger Denver Lane Bloods. In the last year or two, OGs from 107 Hoover returned to the streets from incarceration and reinstated the Sets Crip identity. The 107 Hoovers are now freshly 107 Hoover Crips, making them the second last Hoover/Crip gang.
High-speed chase, do you know how to lose the cops? Our helicopters, do you know how to lose the chops?
Join us as we delve into the history of the 112 Hoover Criminals Gang, also known as the Lay Lows, a group with deep roots in the west side of South Los Angeles. As a subset of the larger Hoover Criminals Gang, the 112 Hoovers have been a part of the city's complex gang narrative since the 1970s, originating around 112th Street. This gang has weathered the decades, evolving while maintaining its presence in the community. Their journey from the original Hoover Crips to their current identity as Hoover Criminals reflects significant shifts within LA's gang landscape, strongly allied with fellow Hoover sets, especially the 107 Hoover Criminals Gang. The 112 Hoovers have navigated the challenges of gang life with notable solidarity. Their long-standing rivalry with the Denver Lane Bloods, among others, underscores the fraught relations that have historically characterized South Central's gang dynamics. These are some Hoover rappers from all over the United States: Schoolboy Q, LA 5 Deuce Hoover Gangster Crips, Jap 5, LA 107 Hoover Criminals, Young Threat, LA 8 Trey Hoover Criminals, Treyway 6K, LA 8 Trey Hoover Criminals, Swift Chapo, LA 5 Deuce Hoover Gangster Crips, King Trell, LA 5 Deuce Hoover Gangster Crips, Pope, LA 9-4 Hoover Criminals, Heartless, LA 7-4 Hoover Criminals, Alshon Martin, LA 9 Deuce Hoover Criminals, Shorty, Baltimore 7-4 Hoover Criminals, NFL Cartel Bo, Houston 5 Deuce Hoover Gangster Crips, Doughboy Sauce, Houston 5 Deuce Hoover Gangster Crips, Zero, Houston 5 Deuce Hoover Gangster Crips, King Kush, Brooklyn 5 Deuce Hoover Gangster Crips, IAs, Fort Worth 5 Deuce Hoover Gangster Crips, Young Coast Tomato, Brooklyn 5 Deuce Hoover Gangster Crips, Fifth Ward JP, Houston 5 Deuce Hoover Gangster Crips, Ink Jack Boy, Mississippi 9-4 Hoover Criminals, 4500 New, Louisiana 5 Deuce Hoover Gangster Crips, Hugh Hitter, Mississippi 9-4 Hoover Criminals. The legacy of the Hoover criminal gangs is a testament to the enduring and complex nature of gang culture in South Los Angeles. From their origins as the Hoover Groovers to their current status, the Hoovers have navigated a landscape marked by rivalry, alliance, and transformation. Their story is not just one of conflict and violence, but also of community identity and survival in the face of socio-economic challenges. As we reflect on the history of the Hoover criminal gangs, we are reminded of the broader narrative of urban life in Los Angeles, where the echoes of the past continue to shape the realities of the present and the possibilities of the future.
87 Gangster Crips. Hello everyone and welcome back to All Scoops Media. Today, we're going to be discussing the East Side 87 Gangster Crips, a long-standing and active African-American street gang based in Los Angeles, California.
My neighborhood is 87 Gangsters, where I came of. The 84 Main Streets is around there, 98 Main Streets around there. Shit, 8-4 Swans is around there, which is Bloods. 7-7 Swans, 7-9 Swan. I mean, shit. I mean the East Coast, like Q102 East Coast, 9-7 East Coast, 8-8 Avalon.
We slide on group. What's up, nigga, don't cuss me. I ain't no Crip, no blood. I'm moving straight.
My stick, most hated gang. We on the top list. I love all my bros. I got some lows off the folk. Been trooping for the long shot.
The 8-7 Gangster Crips were formed after a war between the Rollin 60s Neighborhood Crips and 8-Tray Gangster Crips broke out in 1979. The gang's territory lies between Broadway Street in the west, San Pedro Street in the east, Manchester Avenue in the north, and 92nd Street in the south. The 8-7 Gangster Crips fall under the Gangster Crips, East Side Crips, and Coast Crips Guard and have a close relationship with the 9-7 Gangster Crips, which has lasted for over 20 years. They are also allied with the East Coast Crips, who are part of the rival Juice Guard, along with the 7-Tray Gangster Crips. This partnership is referred to as the Moving Coast to Coast Alliance. Despite being part of the Tray Guard, the 8-7 Gangster Crips have friendly relationships with other gangs such as the 4-Pack, Rollin 50s Neighborhood Crips, and Rollin 90s Neighborhood Crips. This is due to their common enemies, including the Hoover Criminals. However, their partnership with Deuce allies is frowned upon by other Tray gangs and has resulted in several Gangster Crip rivals. The 87 Gangster Crips have a deep-rooted hatred for the Hoover Criminals, who are the main ally of the Gangster Crips against the Neighborhood Crip Gangs. This has caused the 8-7 Gangster Crips to be generally not accepted by other gangs under the Gangster Crips Guard. Their fierce rivalry with the 8-8 Avalon Crips, which began in 2003, has resulted in many gang-related homicides on both sides. Other Tray gang rivals of the 8-7 Gangster Crips include the 8-Tray Gangster Crips, 5 Deuce Broadway Gangster Crips, 5-1 Trouble Gangster Crips, 8-Tray Hoover Criminals Gang, 9 Deuce Hoover Criminals Gang, 9-4 Hoover Criminals Gang, and 8-4 Main Street Mafia Crips. They also have rivalries with the LA Denver Lane Bloods and Family Swan Bloods.
A family under arrest. 40-year-old Freddie Trone, no longer a fugitive, caught by police in Las Vegas. The LAPD says he was the getaway driver, and his 17-year-old son was the gunman who earlier this month shot and killed rapper PMB Rock while he was eating lunch at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles in South LA with his girlfriend. The LAPD believes the duo was after the rapper's expensive jewelry and may have been tipped off to his whereabouts by a social media post.
On September 12th, PnB Rock, a popular rapper from Philadelphia, whose real name was Rakim Allen, was tragically shot and robbed at a Roscoe's House of Chicken and Waffles restaurant in Los Angeles. One of the suspects is from the 8-7 Gangster Crips. As the news of his untimely passing spread, many of his colleagues in the music industry expressed their condolences. However, a heated debate regarding the responsible parties erupted on social media. On September 28th, the Los Angeles Police Department announced that they had made 2 arrests the previous day in connection with the murder. One of the suspects was a minor who was taken into custody on suspicion of murder, while the other suspect, identified as Chantal Trone, 32, was arrested on suspicion of being an accessory to murder. On the morning of September 28th, the police made a public appeal for information on an 8-7 Gangster Crip named Freddie Lee Trone, who they believed was involved in the rapper's murder. The following day, on September 29th, the authorities announced that charges had been filed against 3 individuals, with Freddie Lee Trone identified as the father of the minor suspect.
Today we're going to cover 5 neighborhood Crip sets in Los Angeles, California. The Neighborhood Crips, or NAC, is a gang alliance that is often symbolized by the Deuce card. This alliance has its roots in Los Angeles and is a reflection of the complex network of affiliations and rivalries that have developed over the years among the various Crip gangs in the region. The original Westside Crips gang served as a foundation for many of the sets associated with the Deuce card.
Fatty started fighting with Tyrone, who named Daryl Oaks. The Hood just recruited. He was originally from 9-0. Went around the corner, got the strap. The homie came back. He was on the Hood like 2 days. He thought it was something more serious than just the fisticuffs. And that's all it was. Who would come back with the heat, tell Fatty move, dump, boom, boom. Kill Tyrone, shoot him in the head and the chest. 60s coming to the Hood though. Big Rick, the OG, Babyface, Baby Huey, Motor Mouse, 60s, OGs, killers. Coming to the Hood. All they wanted to shoot her. Killed their brother. They ain't tripping. And we was like, man, we don't know him. We didn't. He just started claiming the Hood in 2 days. A big meeting at the park. The meeting became a big gang fight. At that point, September 27th, 1979, the Rolling 60s and the A-Trays have been mortal enemies.
In 1979, a significant feud between the Rolling 60s Neighborhood Crips and the A-Tray Gangster Crips. Neighborhoods east and west of the 110 freeway in Los Angeles find themselves forced to choose sides. Those leaning towards the Rolling 60s adopted the Neighborhood Crips, or NHC, while those aligning with the A-Tray Gangsters chose the Gangster Crips card. This feud has been responsible for most of the Crip-on-Crip violence in the LA area. These are some Crip sets that align themselves with the Deuce card. The Neighborhood Crips and the Rolling O's, the Rolling Hundreds Crips, the Hard Time Hustler Crips, the East Coast Crips, the Mafia Crips, the Westside Boulevard Crips, the Gear Gang Crips, the Raymond Avenue Crips. Each of these sets has its own unique alliances, rivalries, and history reflecting the complex landscape of the Crip affiliations under the NHC banner. In summary, the Neighborhood Crips Alliance showcases the intricate web of relationships that exist among the street gangs in Los Angeles, underlining the importance of history, loyalty, and geography in shaping these connections. At number 5, we have the 5-5 Neighborhood Crips.
Good, I'm gonna find no good. Shout out my friend. Trying to no good. I'm every day. So I get out and get it. Get some
My favorite is the Crip right
Hanging in. 7th Street Nickel Boys on Hood.
Big boss with novels and snobs for the hippies with no albums on Hood.
Labor.
The 5-5 Neighborhood Crips are a significant African-American street gang that emerged in South Los Angeles, California in the 1970s. Founded as the 5-5 Hustler Crips, this gang lays claim to 55th Street, spanning from Normandy Avenue in the west to Vermont Avenue in the east. This area in South Los Angeles forms the heart of their turf. In the 1980s, the gang was known by the moniker 5-5 Hustler Crips. However, in the early 1990s, they rebranded themselves as the 5-5 Neighborhood Crips, or 5-5 NHC. Following this change, 2 additional factions, the 5-7 Neighborhood Crips and the 5-8 Neighborhood Crips, emerged together. The 5-5-7 Neighborhood Crips and the 5-8 Neighborhood Crips emerged. Together, these factions formed a collective known as the Rolling 50s Neighborhood Crips. Here are some enemies of the 5-5 Neighborhood Crips. The A-Tray Gangster Crips, the 5 Deuce Hoover Gangster Crips, the 5-9 Hoover Criminals, the 107 Hoover Criminals, the 5 Deuce Broadway Gangster Crips, the 5-Way Treble Gangster Crips, the Van Ness Gangster Brims, the Harvard Park Brims, the Fruittown Brims, and the Black Pea Stones. These are some sets that the 5-5 Neighborhood Crips are cool with. The Rolling 60s Neighborhood Crips, the Rolling 90s Neighborhood Crips, the Rolling 40s Neighborhood Crips, the Rolling 30s Harlem Crips. The 5-5 Neighborhood Crips are the largest subset under the umbrella of the Rolling 50s Neighborhood Crips, boasting around over 90 documented members. At number 4, we have the Neighborhood Compton Crips.
Who's this? Let me see the back boots. Yeah. New corn. infants.
My son in the land. Yes, sir. We need to figure out.
Hey, get some of that. Get some of that. Yeah. They want some of that. Yeah, they want some of that. Gang members.
The Eastside Neighborhood Compton Crips are an African-American street gang that have roots in the city of Compton, California, with their founding tracing back to the late 1960s. Their territory extends from Long Beach Boulevard in the west to Pans Avenue in the east, and from Alondra Boulevard in the north to Greenleaf Boulevard in the south. Within this region, the majority of the Neighborhood Compton Crips members are concentrated around the 3700 block of Pans Avenue and Wymore Street. The gang shares its neighborhood with the Compton Vario Tiny Gangsters. The Neighborhood Compton Crips identify themselves under multiple cards, such as the Neighborhood Crips, the Compton Crips, and the Eastside Crips. These are some sets that the Neighborhood Compton Crips beef with. The Southside Compton Crips, the Ward Lane Compton Crips, the Nutty Block Compton Crips, the Hollywood Pyrus, the Limehood Pyrus, the Treetop Pyrus, the Lewis Park Pyrus, the Mob Pyrus, the Cross Atlantic Pyrus, the Compton Vario 70s, the Compton Vario Segundo, and the Compton Vario Tiny Gangsters. At number 3, we have the Rolling 90s Crips.
Look at the sky. Now look back at me. You see why that sky blue? I done told y'all 90 times. The sky's blue because God a Crip, man.
Oh, 9 block smoking on daddy. I think I love it here. Hey, gang them, gang them. Hey, make sure. Neighbor. Hey, boom.
Jack, you already know, cuz. I'm gonna talk your shit. Look, I'm the mother president. This the mayor on Hood, and we running for the mother election on Neighborhood Crip. And if you don't know, you're gonna know. You feel me, little hoe?
If you don't know, you don't know. Okay, Jesse on.
The Westside Rolling 90s Neighborhood Crips are an African-American street gang operating in the west side of LA, California, in an area just north of Inglewood. Their neighborhood extends from Van Ness to Western Avenue and between Manchester Boulevard and Century Boulevard. Jesse Owens Park is a central point within this area. An internal dispute divided the gang into two factions known as the Bankside and Western Avenue. Falling under the Deuce card and Neighborhood Crips card, the Rolling 90s maintain friendly relations with all Rolling O's and Neighborhood Crip sets. These are some sets that they are cool with. The Rolling 30s Harlem Crips, the Rolling 40s Neighborhood Crips, the Rolling 50s Neighborhood Crips, the Rolling 60s Neighborhood Crips, the Rolling 100s Crips, the 6-7 Neighborhood Crips, the 4-6 Neighborhood Crips, all East Coast Crips, Raymond Avenue Crips, West Boulevard Crips, all hard-time Hustler Crips. The Rolling 90s Crips has many rivals, which include the A-Tray Gangster Crips, all Hoover Criminals, the 9-9 Mafia Crips, the Main Street Mafia Crips, the 4-Pack, the Gardena Shotgun Crips, the Inglewood Family Gang, the Centinela Park Family Bloods, the Avenue Pyru Gang, the Crenshaw Mafia Gang, the Harvard Park Brims, the Fruittown Brims, the Van Ness Gangster Brims, the Black P Stones, the LA Denver Lane Bloods. At number 2, we have the Osage Legend Crips.
We could go pour up some mud if you want me to. I could put you in all white if you want me to. I could do it.
The Osage Legend Crips are a small but long-standing African-American street gang founded in Inglewood, California during the late 1980s. Their influence and interactions in Inglewood have shaped the gang landscape in a city largely dominated by Bloods. One of the first active Crip gangs in Inglewood, the Osage Legend Crips, were named after Osage Street, which runs through the core of their territory. This stretch of turf encompasses 92nd Street to 102nd Street, making Osage Street a symbol of the gang's presence in the area. Being in constant conflict with Inglewood's many blood sets led to the Osage Legend Crips to claim the Neighborhood Crips card. This alignment was sanctioned by their closest allies, the rolling 60s Neighborhood Crips. Despite this alignment, they are considered rivals to other gangs claiming the Neighborhood Crips card, adding complexity to the relationships within the Crip community. However, the gang is generally friendly towards most Neighborhood Crips, maintaining connections within the broader network of the Crip affiliation. Some rivals of the Osage Legend Crips includes the Inglewood Family Gang, the Centinela Park Family Bloods, the Inglewood Neighborhood Pyrules, the Avenue Pyru Gang, the LA Denver Lane Bloods, the Crenshaw Mafia Gang, the Queen Street Bloods, the Center Park Bloods, the 102nd Raymond Avenue Crips, the Mad Gangster Crips, the Tonga Crips Gang, the A-Tray Gangster Crips, the Hoover Criminals Gang, At number 1, we have the rolling 60s Neighborhood Crips.
What? You can't hang. On the dead homies, bro. If you ain't gang, you can't hang.
Crips outside. Crips outside. Crips.
Fuck that kind of high part. Tell him again. Yeah, good afternoon. Man, for the scores. Yeah, score started. Yeah, homie.
Got to. Gotta get to the bed.
5 and 9. That's we a big cookie,
Formed in 1976 as a faction of the original Westside Crips gang, the Rolling 60s emerged when the larger gang splintered into more specific groups. The Rolling 60s has various interpretations, one of which suggests that it was inspired by 60th Street, rolling through the entire neighborhood. Their territory spans 27 blocks from Slauson Avenue in the north to Florence Avenue in the south, and from Western Avenue in the east towards Overhill Drive in the west. With an estimated membership over 1,600, the Rolling 60s is the largest African-American street gang in LA County. They are known for sporting Seattle Mariners baseball caps and using various hand gestures such as the deuces with a thumb to represent their affiliation. The Rolling 60s have an extensive list of enemies, with their most heated and long-lasting rivalry beefing with the A-Tray Gangster Crips. The conflict between the Rolling 60s and the A-Tray Gangster Crips began with a dispute over a girl in September 1979, which escalated to a fatal shooting. A failed negotiation led to retaliatory murders, resulting in an all-out gang war that persists to this day. This rivalry marked one of the first Crip-on-Crip feuds in history. The Rolling 60s align with most gangs under the Neighborhood Crip and Rolling O's card. However, alliances have shifted over time, with some previous allies now considered enemies, such as the Rolling 40s Neighborhood Crips. Some sets that the Rolling 60s beef with include the Van Ness Gangster Brims, the Inglewood Family Gang, the Centinela Park Family Bloods, the Crenshaw Mafia Gang, the Inglewood Neighborhood Pyrules, the Harvard Park Brims, the Fruittown Brims, the Rolling 20s Neighborhood Bloods, the Black Pistols, the 5 Deuce Hoover Gangster Crips, the 5'9" A-Tray, and 7 Hoover Criminal Gang, and other various Crip sets. The intricate web of alliances, rivalries, origins, and evolutions of the 5 Neighborhood Crip sets the 5-5 Neighborhood Crips, the Neighborhood Compton Crips, the Rolling 90s, the Osage Legend Crips, and the Rolling 60s Neighborhood Crips, points a multifaceted picture of gang culture in Los Angeles and its surrounding areas, each set with its own unique territory, affiliations that contributes to an ever-changing landscape shaped by historical conflicts and shared animosities. The connections between these sets are not merely an alignment under a common card, but a reflection of deeper social, cultural, and geographical realities. This complexity underscores the challenge of understanding and addressing gang violence, demanding a nuanced appreciation of the factors that bind and separate these groups. Together they form a significant chapter in the story of LA, a city marked by its vibrant, often turbulent mosaic of street life. The alliances and rivalries of these sets are not static, but evolve in response to broader changes in the community, providing an ongoing narrative of transformation, conflict.
We were trying to pull up in them Porsches, aye. We were trying to pull up in them Porsches.
No, we're not going back for life.
Hashtag BU4L, nose down. Slide got on their heels, these niggas so sketchy. Look at Blaze, look at Blaze, look at Blaze. Dead homies, dead homies. I just stop it. XO, I can't run it. Dead homie out the token, I don't got no Billy. XO, can't
The Crips, a predominantly African-American street gang, originated in Los Angeles in 1969. The gang was founded by Raymond Washington, who started it from a house on East 76th Street. Initially created to unify local gangs, provide protection to the community, and combat rival groups, the Crips quickly gained influence. Raymond Washington and Stanley Tookie Williams, who later joined as a co-founder, expanded the gang's reach and solidified its identity. Derived from the Baby Avenues, the group adopted the name Crips, though the origins of the name remain uncertain. The Crips' influence spread rapidly across Los Angeles, leading to the formation of two major factions: the East Side Crips, led by Washington, and the West Side Crips, led by Tookie. The East Side Crips operated east of the Harbor Freeway, while the West Side Crips dominated neighborhoods to the west. This division allowed the gang to extend its power into various communities, including Compton, Watts, and other areas of Los Angeles. By the mid-1970s, the Crips had become one of the most formidable gangs in the city, engaging in activities such as drug trafficking, theft, and extortion. Their aggressive expansion and recruitment efforts triggered violent conflicts with other gangs, most notably the Bloods, resulting in one of the most notorious rivalries in gang history. As the Crips grew, the gang became increasingly decentralized, with numerous sets operating semi-independently across the city and beyond. This lack of central organization led to internal conflicts and power struggles among different Crip factions. Despite these challenges, the Crips maintained their stronghold in Los Angeles and expanded their influence across the United States.
Just the fire right here, though. Yeah, they ain't been on shit too much over here, shit. Other than that, bro, shit, the hood. Niggas play their part, everybody got their part over here.
The Underground Crips are a predominantly African-American street gang based in the Westmont neighborhood of South Los Angeles, California. They emerged as a spin-off from the original West Side Crips around 1972 to 73, making them one of the earliest offshoots of the Crips. Their formation significantly contributed to the expansion of the Crips' influence throughout Los Angeles during the 1970s. The gang's territory spans from Normandy Avenue to Denker Avenue, covering 103rd to to 108th Streets. They operate through three main cliques, 103rd, 105th, 107th Streets. Despite law enforcement efforts, such as turning 105th Street into a one-way street to limit gang activity, these measures have had minimal success in curbing their operations. As affiliates of the Block Crips, the Underground Crips are part of the larger Rolling 100's Crips Alliance, further strengthening their ties within the Crip network.
I moved from right here when I was like 18. Still in the trenches right here, right now. That's my love, man. You know what I'm saying? My love, man, about that blackness, man. You know what I'm saying? We ain't promoting no gang activities right now, you feel me? But we promoting this family. No, I'm just playing.
The 6-9 East Coast Crips, also known as the 6-9 East Coast Neighborhood Crips, are a subset of the larger East Coast Crips based in South Los Angeles, California. Originally formed in the early 1970s as the 6-9 Shack Boys, the gang later adopted the East Coast Crips identity. They are part of the six-pack East Coast Crips, which includes the 6 Deuce, 6-6, and 6-8 East Coast Crips, creating a broader network of affiliated sets. The East Coast Crips are a prominent African-American street gang comprising numerous sets, including the 1st Street, 5-9, 6 Deuce, 6-6, 6-8, 6-9, 7-6, 9-7, Q102, 11-8, and 190 East Coast Crips. The 6-9 East Coast Crips have been linked to various criminal activities over the years, such as racketeering and violent crimes. Among their notable members was Paul "Lil Doc" Wallace, a key figure within the six-pack subset. Lil Doc was sentenced to 35 years in federal prison for charges related to racketeering and conspiracy. The 6-9 East Coast Crips' history reflects their deep ties to the broader East Coast Crips Alliance, demonstrating the influence and complexity of gang culture in South Los Angeles.
You mean? I go off my team. You thought I ride designer, sorry this shit covered.
Hashtag BU4L, nose down. That's why I got them on their heels, these niggas so sketchy.
The Hat Gang, Watts Crips, commonly known as the Hat Gang, are an African-American street gang located in the Watts neighborhood of Los Angeles, California. Originally called the Hat Boys in the early 1970s, the gang operates within a small area spanning from 92nd Street to 98th Street between Central Avenue and Parmalee Avenue. Their territory crosses both Los Angeles City and county jurisdictions. The gang is organized into cliques, most notably the 92nd Street and 96th Street factions. Members often identify with the color black, symbolizing their affiliation.
Niggas on live, man. One of the homies cut from the set locked up.
I had to do something different. I got a husband. He doing time right now.
My name is Miranda, and I am a Latina artist.
This right here ain't never looked this good.
Street Facts 50's here with another one. I'm walking down Imperial in Watts. Is this new beef with the bounty hunters and the Kitchen Crips, 116th Street? You guys let me know.
It's on video. Man, real KitchenAid tattoo war room, man. That. Yeah. You already
shit
know.
Really going on. Fox's on, man. Yeah, man. This shit really going on, man. Yeah, man. You got buttons and buttons and buttons. When I come out here, they give me a button, man. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Low Boy University, man. Fox's on, man. This shit going on. It's a slush machine, man. It's a slushy night, man.
Real KitchenAid. That.
This shit going on, man. We really out here, though.
Kitchen Crips are an African-American street gang that originated on the east side of South Los Angeles in the early 1970s. Their name is believed to have been inspired by a local liquor store called Kitchen Liquor, which served as a prominent landmark in their neighborhood during that era. Over time, the gang's territory has encompassed areas within both the city of Los Angeles and unincorporated parts of Los Angeles County. The neighborhood has experienced significant demographic shifts, with a growing number of Central American immigrants now residing in the community. The Kitchen Crips are divided into three primary subsets. The largest, the 8-7 Kitchen Crips, operates around 87th Street and Hooper Avenue. The 95 Kitchen Crips are based near 95th Street, between Success Avenue and Compton Avenue. The 116 Kitchen Crips, located near 116th Street and Central Avenue, share parts of their territory with the 11-6 Avalon Gangster Crips. Collectively, these subsets sustain the gang's presence and influence across South Los Angeles, making the Kitchen Crips a prominent part of the region's gang culture.
Wishing our little homies. Even though we're not going back to
The Q102 East Coast Crips are an African-American street gang based on the east side of South Los Angeles, California. Established around 1971, they are the oldest East Coast Crip gang in Los Angeles. Originally known as Town 102, the gang later adopted the East Coast name, aligning with the larger East Coast Crips umbrella and the Neighborhood Crips card, further cementing their identity. The gang's territory covers a small area from Century Boulevard to 103rd Street, between Avalon Boulevard and San Pedro Avenue. Despite their limited geographic reach, the Q102 East Coast Crips have remained active for over 4 decades. Their longevity is attributed to strong community ties and their historical significance within Los Angeles's gang culture, marking them as a notable faction in the city's complex gang landscape.
When they arrested me, it was 35 cars. They took my car and did a drive-by out my car before they brought it to the station. My car wasn't impounded. They did a drive-by out my car.
The police took your car?
Yeah, it was special task force. They did a drive-by out my car.
Now, how you know that?
Yeah, folks from 30 Paru told me we got real close.
So they went to 30 Paru Hood?
Yeah, going on the way to Newton Street and shot out my car. Made it seem like we was just going back to B.
And this is doing the P Street?
Doing the B Street. Doing the B Street.
Well, how am I able to stand here right now with y'all? I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm in y'all neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? What's the significance of this? Me, I've been a blood from Matthews Park, and you know what I'm saying? Y'all from Five Trey. You know what I'm saying? What's the significance of that?
Black love. It's really out of respect, and you know, you have to show a lot of heart.
The 88 Avalon Garden Crips are an African-American street gang based in South Los Angeles, California. Established between 1971 and 1972 by Jamal Barnes, a former member of the East Side Crips. The gang rooted itself in the Avalon Gardens housing project. While Barnes is recognized for founding the Avalon Garden Crips, he did not establish the Crips or Bloods as a whole. The 88 Avalon Garden Crips are the oldest subset of the Avalon Gangster Crips, which also includes the 11-6 Avalon Gangster Crips. 53rd Street Avalon Gangster Crips, and the Rolling 40s Avalon Gangster Crips. The Avalon Gardens housing project, built in 1938 to house 165 families, became the gang's stronghold. Located in a region densely populated with other gangs, including the Kitchen Crips, Family Swanbloods, and East Coast Crips, the Avalon Garden Crips operate in an environment where gang activity is highly concentrated within a few blocks.
Die with each other. I ain't smoking on for weed, smoking it for weed. Brother, bounce on the op, he try to run, smack his head with a shell. 557.
The Rolling 30s Harlem Crips, also known as the Dirt Gang, are a well-established African-American street gang based on the west side of South Los Angeles, particularly in the Jefferson Park neighborhood. Founded around 1969 to 1970, the gang initially operated as the Harlem Gang before joining the Crips in 1972 to 1973. Briefly known as the Godfathers, they eventually adopted the Harlem Crips name, reflecting their evolving identity within Los Angeles's gang culture. The gang's territory spans from Jefferson Boulevard to Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, between Crenshaw Boulevard and Normandy Avenue. Key landmarks include Dinker Park, which serves as the gang's central headquarters. The metro train tracks bisect their territory, dividing the Harlem 30s into north and south sections. Organized into multiple cliques, such as the 35th Street, 37th Street, 39th Street, Avenues, and Dinker Park cliques. The Rolling 30s Harlem Crips are among the largest Crip gangs in Los Angeles, with an estimated membership of 700 to 1,000 individuals.
When my daughter playing Fortnite, PS4, taking projects like a fortress. We were trying to pull up in them Porsches. We were trying to pull up in them Porsches. Ooh.
The original Swamp Crips are one of the oldest street gangs in Los Angeles County. Their origins date back to the late 1960s or early 1970s, when they were initially known as the Swamp Boys. Around 1973, they adopted the Crip affiliation, becoming the original Swamp Crips. The gang's name reflects the swampy, marsh-like characteristics of their territory, which encompasses areas in West Rancho Dominguez and Rosewood, California, particularly near East 154th Street. They are known for their use of green as a symbolic color, representing the swampy terrain of their neighborhood. Green graffiti is a common marker of their presence in the area. The original Swamp Crips have been involved in alliances and rivalries typical of Los Angeles street gangs. The history of the Crips and their oldest sets provides a window into the broader challenges and complexities of urban life in Los Angeles. From their beginnings as a small neighborhood group led by Raymond Washington to their evolution into a decentralized network of powerful subsets, the Crips have left an indelible mark on the city's culture and history. Sets like the original Swamp Crips, Kitchen Crips, and Underground Crips highlight the adaptability of these gangs, while the Rolling 30s Harlem Crips and 6'9" East Coast Crips emphasize their enduring influence across different communities. Despite their notoriety for criminal activities, the Crips also symbolize the social and economic struggles faced by marginalized communities in Los Angeles. Understanding the history and dynamics of these gangs is essential to addressing the root causes of urban violence and inequality. As the Crips continue to evolve, their legacy remains deeply intertwined with the history of Los Angeles, reflecting both the resilience
to the gangsters, to the movers.
Tell them who you is, cuz. Who is you, cuz? Let them know, cuz. Let them know, cuz. My young cuz, who is y'all, cuz? Let them know. Hey, Trey Gangster. On it. TRP country. Dead low.
BK. Y'all BK? Yeah, alright. Yeah. Where you from? 18th Street. Alright.
Life around gangsters, don't hang around nothing that ain't like us. Twin cold make them put away deuces. My whole hood in the building looking
Gangster Crips, also known as Trays, are a network of several individual African-American street gangs based primarily in South Central Los Angeles, California. These gangs are loosely connected under the Gangster Crips umbrella and have a deep-rooted history marked by significant rivalries and alliances. Originating from a long-standing feud between the 8-Tray Gangster Crips and the Rolling 60s Neighborhood Crips in 1971, the Gangster Crips have grown to encompass numerous sets, each with its own unique identity and territory.
Baby Huey, Motor Mouse, 60s, OGs, killers. Come in the hood. All they want is a shooter. Killed their brother. They ain't tripping. Like, man, we want the brother. That's what Big Rick said. We was like, man, we don't know him. We didn't. He just started claiming the hood in 2 days. We couldn't give him up.
The Gangster Crips, also known as Trays, consist of several individual African-American street gangs based in South Central Los Angeles, California. These gangs, falling under the Gangster Crips card, are loosely connected to the 8-Tray Gangster Crips. The formation of the Gangster Crips stems from a long-standing feud between the 8-Tray Gangster Crips and the Rollins 60s Neighborhood Crips. This rivalry, which erupted in 1971, led to significant violence on the streets of South Central LA, resulting in over 50 deaths between the 8-Trays and the Rollins 60s. Allies of the Rollins 60s Neighborhood Crips became known as Neighborhood Crips or adopted the Rollins Zeros under the Deuces card. Meanwhile, allies of the 8-Tray Gangster Crips became Gangster Crips under the Trays card. The Deuces and Trays have been mortal enemies, feuding for over 30 years. Despite their enmity, some Gangster Crips gangs have alliances with those under the Deuces umbrella. For instance, the 40s Gangster Crips have a close relationship with the East Coast Crips, who generally fall under the Deuces umbrella. The 8-7 Gangster Crips and the 9-7 Gangster Crips are allies of the Rolling 50s Neighborhood Crips, including the 5-5 NHC, 5-7 NHC, 5-8 NHC, and 5-9 NHC. This type of alliance has led to the 4-Tray Gangster Crips being nicknamed 4 Traitors due to their association with gangs that are known rivals of the Gangster Crips. Gangs under the Trays often feud with other gangs within the Gangster Crips. The 40s Gangster Crips, including the 4 Deuce Gangster Crips, 4-Tray Gangster Crips, and 4-8 Gangster Crips, are bitter rivals of the Avalon Gangster Crips and the Broadway Gangster Crips.
We ain't never slipping, we outside, on 10 toes, on faded off the Remy, head still on a swivel. Don't move. Yeah, free the locs, man. On Gangster Crip, hey, straight gangster, dead homies. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, third game. Yeah, third game. Yeah, we been telling y'all they been saying that. Avalon.
Tell them who you is, cuz. Who is you, cuz? Let them know, cuz. Let them know, cuz. My young cuz. Who is y'all, cuz? Let them know. Hey, Trey Gangster. On it. TRP country. Dead low.
The 8 Gangster Crips are primarily an African-American street gang located on the west side of South Los Angeles, California. Their neighborhood spans from Gage Avenue to 79th Street, between Western Avenue and Vermont Avenue. They fall under the Gangster Crips card. They are named after the popular residential street 83rd Street, which is at the heart of their neighborhood. The 8 Gangster Crips are considered by federal agents and city officials to be one of the most violent street gangs in Los Angeles County. They are well known for their brutal reputation, with over 300 active members. They originated from the original West Side Crips, led by Stanley "Tookie" Williams, in the early 1970s. The 8 Crips are allies with most gangs that fall under the Gangster Crips umbrella.
Hold up, hold. Time out. Where you from? Oh yeah, you from 18th Street? Hey, BK.
Y'all BK? Yeah, alright. Yeah. Where you from?
18th Street.
Alright.
That's the game. And all that. Gang and all that.
Okay, free the game.
Yeah, y'all know going on. Free the gang.
Wait.
Hold on.
Wait. Oh, Janky? Wait, can you fit behind Young? Hey, Young.
Bob.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that bar.
4-pack Crips. 4-pack Crips. Yeah. Bonds and they mama stuff. Where we at? South Park. The landmarks.
The 40s Gangster Crips, also known as the 4-pack Crips, consist of 3 African-American street gangs located on the east side of South Los Angeles, California. The 4-pack refers to an alliance between the 4 Deuce Gangster Crips, the 4 Gangster Crips, and the 4-8 Gangster Crips. The 40s Gangster Crips are part of the Gangster Crips card. The 4 Deuce Gangster Crips are the second largest of the 3 gangs. They originated around 42nd Street, between Vernon Avenue and Martin Luther King Boulevard. The 4 Gangster Crips are the largest of the 3 gangs, with a brutal reputation for violence and drive-by shootings. The 4 Gangster Crips originated around McKinley Avenue, between 43rd Street and 43rd Place. The 4-8 Gangster Crips are located around Central Avenue, between 48th Street and 48th Place. The 4-8 Gangster Crips also have a small sub-clique known as the 47 Gangster Crips, which operate around 47th Street and Compton Boulevard. The 40s Gangster Crips, aka 4-pack Crips, they are known to feud with other gangs under the Gangster Crips umbrella, especially the 40s Avalon Crips and the Broadway Gangster Crips. The 40s Gangster Crips are one of the most notorious street gangs on the east side of South Los Angeles, California. The 8-7 Gangster Crips are predominantly, but not exclusively, an African-American street gang located on the east side of South Los Angeles, California. The 8-7 Gangster Crips originated after the 8 Gangster Crips started feuding with the rolling 60s Neighborhood Crips in 1979. The Eastside 9-6 Gangster Crips are an African-American street gang formed in the early 1980s in Los Angeles, California. They identify under the Gangster Crips and Eastside Crips umbrella and are allies with all Gangster Crips. The Eastside 9-7 Gangster Crips are an African-American street gang founded in the early 1980s in Los Angeles, California. Their territory is concentrated around 97th Street, east of the 110 freeway, and west of Avalon Boulevard. This gang identifies under the Gangster Crips and Eastside Crips umbrella. The 11-8 Eucalyptus Mob Gangster Crips merged with the Gangster Crips brand. They are primarily an African-American street gang located on the west side of Hawthorne, California. The 11-8 Gangster Crips originated in the 1980s and fall under the Gangster Crips umbrella. Their neighborhood centers around 118th Street, between Prairie Boulevard and Cedar Avenue.
Oh my God! They be outside for nothing. They be outside for the Sundays only.
We been telling y'all they, bro. We been saying that. Avalon. Making it up.
Little homegirls everywhere.
You here with us, cuz.
That's right, cuz. Homies everywhere, cuz. My Avalon.
The Avalon Gangster Crips are an active African-American street gang located on the east side of South Los Angeles, California. They were established in the early 1970s by Jimmel Barnes, a former member of the East Side Crips, along with a few friends who lived in the Avalon Gardens housing projects. The Avalon Garden Crips originated after Raymond Washington, leader of the East Side Crips, was incarcerated on a murder charge in 1974. The 88 Avalon Garden Crips were the first subset of the Avalon Gangster Crips. The Avalon Garden Projects are located on 88th Place, between Avalon Boulevard and Central Avenue. The Avalon Crips consist of 4 subsets: 11-6, 88, 5 Trey, and 40s Avalon Crips, and they fall under the Gangster Crips umbrella. The 11-6 Avalon Gangster Crips are an active subset under the Avalon Gangster Crips umbrella. They originated around 116th Street and Avalon Boulevard. The 11-6 Avalon Gangster Crips were one of the most active gangs on the east side of South Central throughout the 1980s and 1990s. The 5 Trey Avalon Gangster Crips are an African-American street gang operating on the east side of South Los Angeles, California. They are the second largest subset of the Avalon Gangster Crips. The Rolling 40s Avalon Gangster Crips, commonly known as the Avalon 40s Crips, are a subset of the larger Avalon Gangster Crips. Their neighborhood is located on Main Street, between Vernon Avenue and Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. The Avalon 40s consist of 2 cliques, 41st Street and 43rd Street.
You can get a 15, 16-year-old tear you up, man. Don't give a by y'all, man, you know? Man, you said something to his sister. I'll tell you what, the young guns on both sides, the Bloods and the Crip, the young guns ain't no joke. The young guns ain't no joke, boy. Even a tough person like me in my day wouldn't get out of line straight with a young gun that I don't know.
From West Side, let them do Broadway Gangsters Crip. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, that's my goon. Look, turn the camera on. Look, that's how my goon roll up on his C-Day. That's how my goon roll up just like this. Really on his C-Day, like.
Broadway is for the only Crips should see walk, and then all non-affiliates are still in the fame without surviving the pain.
These niggas done changed the game, man. They got some millennium stunners out here, man. #1 stunners, man. Runners, man.
The Broadway Gangster Crips are an active African-American street gang located on the west side of South Central, Los Angeles, California. They originated in the 1970s and have been active for over 40 years. The Broadway Gangster Crips consist of 2 subsets: the 5 Deuce Broadway Gangster Crips and the 11 Deuce Broadway Gangster Crips. The Broadway Crips refer to the west side as West Town and fall under the Gangster Crips umbrella. The 5 Deuce Broadway Gangster Crips originated around 52nd Street between Broadway and Avalon Boulevard. The 11 Deuce Broadway Gangster Crips have territory around 112th Street between Broadway and San Pedro Avenue. The 71st Street Gangster Crips are a predominantly African-American street gang based on the west side of South Los Angeles, California. They are located near 71st Street in Normandy, within the larger territory of the 8 Trey Gangster Crip neighborhood. This group adopted the Gangster Crip identity around 2006 and maintains a close association with the 8 Trey Gangster Crips.
Gangsters. What curse say?
The Graveyard Crips are primarily an African-American street gang located on the west side of Santa Monica, California. Their neighborhood is situated behind the Woodlawn Cemetery, which is at Pico Boulevard and 14th Street, across from Santa Monica College. The Graveyard Crips fall under the Gangster Crips umbrella.
I want to take y'all to 1980, when I done my first drive-by. Okay, I'm in the neighborhood on 127th Street. I flew up and pick up my buddy Jerm and Uzi Mike. We're going northbound up Normandy. You see, we see some rival enemies going southbound down Normandy. Where I got a 32 automatic, you know. And we riding up, you know, we just rolling on up that thing. It's where I see him, I get off, bow, 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 not thinking what I'm doing. I just get off, bow. So when we going, we on our way to go get us a stick or two. So we rolling, you know. Got to the canal, we come down Vermont. Rolling down Vermont. I see some more rival enemies where I get off again. Bow, 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 not thinking what I'm doing. That's the point. Where now here it is. I come back to the neighborhood, I'm sitting back. Next thing I know, the police come around me to where here I am now going to jail for attempted murder for something I wasn't thinking about doing.
The Harvard Gangster Crips are an African-American street gang located in the West Athens district of Los Angeles, California, though they claim South Los Angeles. The Harvard Gangster Crips originated in the late 1970s around Harvard Boulevard, between Western Avenue and Halldale Avenue. Their main cliques are based on 127th Street and 126th Street. The Harvard Gangster Crips fall under the Gangster Crips umbrella.
Live my whole life around gangsters. Don't hang around nothing that ain't like us. You ain't cold, make them put away deuces. My whole hood in the building looking ruthless. Different county, skip the jail time. Got a vivid picture of life in the dollar sign. Tell myself every day, stay away from haters.
West side ho.
My bad. So, thanks to you,
The Five Deuce Hoover Gangster Crips are an active street gang located on the west side of South Los Angeles, California. They originated in the 1970s around 52nd Street and Hoover Street, between Vermont Avenue and Figueroa Avenue. By the late 1980s, the Five Deuce Hoover Crips had over 1,000 active members on the streets of South Central Los Angeles. The Five Deuce Hoover Gangster Crips are a subset of the larger Hoover Criminal Gangs and are affiliated with the Gangster Crips card. The Mansfield Crips are primarily an African-American street gang located in the West Side District of Los Angeles, California. They originated in the early 1980s and were previously known as the Mansfield Hustlers, centered around Mansfield Avenue, between Venice Boulevard and Olympic Boulevard. By the late 1980s, the Mansfield Hustlers officially became known as the Mansfield Gangster Crips. The Mansfield Gangster Crips are one of the most active gangs in the West Side District of Los Angeles and fall under the Gangster Crips umbrella.
My mom used to chase me up and down this block. My mom hated it. Hated I was from the hood.
What's up, cuz? My name is Baby Gangster from Westside Marvin.
Marvin Gangsters. Where's the latest finest? You ain't supposed to be over here. Don't even stop right here. Don't even slow down right here. This is where they film Malibu's Most Wanted.
Why you tell me that you going to get some shirt?
Kicking it, about to get some whipped cream. You better get some drink.
The Marvin Gangster Crips are an African-American street gang based in West Los Angeles, California. They are named after Marvin Avenue, a street located west of Hauser Boulevard, between Venice Boulevard and Washington Boulevard. The Marvin Gangster Crips fall under the Gangster Crips umbrella.
Famous Crip, Schoolyard Crip to be exact. But you knew that already. You see it on my face, baby. Come on now, you see big S's and Y's.
I go to hold your like a 100-yard dash. I go to hold your. I go to hold your like a 100-yard dash. I go to hold your.
Stay focused on my way up. They been backdooring, keep the gate shut. Keep it on you for that don't say much.
The Schoolyard Crips are a predominantly African-American street gang located on the west side in the Mid-City region of South Los Angeles, California. They originated in the early 1980s around Longwood Avenue between Crenshaw Boulevard and Venice Boulevard. The Schoolyard Crips have over 200 active members documented in police gang files. The Schoolyard Crips consist of several smaller cliques, including the Yank Mob, Midtown, 1600 Block, 2800 Block, and 4800 Block, which represents 17th Street. The Palm and Oak Gangster Crips are predominantly an African-American street gang located on the east side of Linwood, California. Parts of their neighborhood extend into Compton, south of the Interstate 105 freeway. Their territory lies west of Long Beach Boulevard and Alpine Avenue, between Oak Street and Palm Avenue. The Palm and Oak Gangster Crips are part of the Gangster Crips car.
Gang, we in the Heights right now.
Big old rabbits everywhere.
We went from carrying backpacks to crack sacks, homie, within a matter of months. We one of the first hoods to get the gang injunction back in, what was that, 87?
They actually tried it first on the Primitive Flats in the First Street East Coast.
LA still got a G code. It still comes from the top and simmer on down to our young homies.
The Playboy Crips are a long-standing African-American street gang located on the west side of Los Angeles, California. The Playboy Gangster Crips have been active for over 30 years and fall under the Gangster Crips umbrella. Their neighborhood spans from Pico Boulevard, between Oceanaga Boulevard and Hauser Boulevard.
Shotgun Crips, that's where I originated. That's where I come up from. Fighting.
The Shotgun Crips are primarily an African-American street gang established in the 1970s, located on the west side of Gardena, California. Their territory stretches from East Vermont Avenue to West Crenshaw Boulevard. The Shotgun Crips consist of 3 cliques: the 132nd Street Clique, the 134th Street Clique, and the 139th Street Clique. The Hawthorne Thug Family is an African-American street gang located on the west side of Hawthorne, California. Their neighborhood centers around 139th Street between Crenshaw Boulevard and Prairie Avenue. The Hawthorne Thug Family Gangster Crips have been active for over 20 years and fall under the Gangster Crips umbrella.
Know what this shit is? Cat it over here. Chill out. Fuck pocket hood. Like the crack addicts. Oh, I'm a wife where a T-house with a passion. When around the spot, behind the bag. I'm gonna trip you this man. Thinking on game, we ain't talking, we sitting bricks.
Oh, that man, you feel me? Personally, I'm solo bolo, cuz. I stick to myself, but these my dogs right here, man. I kill for these, you see? You feel me? But look, but anyway, let's get back to the money. You see it. We out here on the mission, trying to get it how we live.
The 10-Line Gangster Crips are a small African-American street gang situated on the east side in the Watts neighborhood of Los Angeles, California. This gang claims territory along 110th Street and the surrounding blocks between Wilmington Avenue and Mona Boulevard. The primary cliques within the 10-Line Gangster Crips include the Dead End, Trackside, and the Lou Dillon Boys. The Altadena Block Crips are primarily an African-American street gang located on the west side of Altadena, California. Their territory is near Fair Oaks Avenue and extends from West Mountain View Street to West Loma Alta Drive. Members claim the following streets: Harriet Street, Palm Street, and Pine Street. The Altadena Block Crips are affiliated with the Trays and are known to frequent Loma Alta Park, situated at the corner of Lincoln Avenue and West Loma Alta Drive. They are the largest Crip gang in the Pasadena-Altadena area, along with the Pasadena-Raymond Avenue Crips.
Yeah, talk about me,
The Do-Rock Gangster Crips, due to their affiliation with the Gangster Crips card, are primarily an African-American street gang located in the Duarte and Monrovia regions of the San Gabriel Valley in California. The Do-Rock Crips consist of 2 cliques: the Low End in the Duarte neighborhood between California Avenue and Mountain Avenue, south of Duarte Road. The second clique is known as the High End, located in the Monrovian neighborhood between the 210 freeway and downtown Monrovia, north of Duarte Road. The Do-Rock Crips originated in the 1970s and fall under the Gangster Crips, also known as the Trays umbrella, aligning themselves with other Gangster Crips, such as the notorious 8 Tray Gangster Crips in South Los Angeles. The Whitsett Avenue Gangster Crips, also known as the Whitsett Avenue Crips, is a predominantly African-American street gang located on the east side of North Hollywood in the San Fernando Valley, California. This gang emerged in the late 1980s and takes its name from Whitsett Avenue, a central street in their neighborhood that stretches between Oxnard Street and Sherman Way. The Whitsett Avenue Crips are part of the larger Gangster Crips. They are recognized for wearing apparel of the Washington Nationals, a professional baseball team based in Washington, D.C. In particular, they often sport baseball caps featuring the Washington Nationals logo, W, to represent the first letter of their gang's name. Despite being a Crips gang, their primary color is black, symbolized by a black rag. Their cliques include the 5900 block, 6500 block, and the 7100 block, collectively referred to as the 567. The extensive network of Gangster Crips in California reflects a complex web of alliances, rivalries, and territorial disputes. From the 40s Gangster Crips to the Whitsett Avenue Gangster Crips, each set has its distinct history and connections, both within and outside the Gangster Crips umbrella. Despite internal conflicts and external rivalries, the Gangster Crips continue to exert significant influence in their respective territories, maintaining a presence that has shaped the gang landscape of South Los Angeles and beyond.